Okay, I don't know if we're live, but I'm trying. Guys, ZDoggMD, it's February 12th, Friday at about 1:08 Pacific time. I'm trying to go live to both YouTube and Facebook. Okay, this is a self-indulgent rant done out of just sheer desperation, misery, and the hope that actually this will help move forward a dialogue and a discourse when everybody in the country is suffering through year one of this disaster. All right, let me back up. So my kids have been out of school since last March because we live in California and they go to public school. Private schools are open. If you have money, you can do this and that and the other thing, right? And, you know, we're not broke, but the thing is, we believe in public schools, so our kids are in public school. But they're not in public school. They're doing Zoom. So they've been in that situation for about a year now. My wife works at Stanford. She's a radiologist. I do what I do. In the past year, we've been amazingly good citizens about doing the right thing when it comes to community involvement when it comes to COVID. So we wear our masks when we go out. We don't travel unnecessarily. We have not been on a family trip or vacation outside of California in well over a year. So we did everything right. My wife takes care of, reads radiology films for COVID patients. We both have been vaccinated with both doses. So we did all that stuff. I'm just pulling up your comments here. We did all that stuff. And actually, I just realized I made this unlisted on YouTube. Hold on, I got to make it public. Done and save. Okay, hopefully that fixes it. Both of us have been double vaccinated and will have been for over 10 days by today. And so we planned for months because the kids have a winter break with their public school, which is not a public school because it's not school. It's just Zoom at this point. We have a winter break for a week. So we had been planning, what should we do? And we hemmed and hawed and stressed. Well, we could go here locally, or we could do this, or, you know, Mexico's really easy, but we don't really want to go to Mexico. If I'm going to spend money, I want to spend it in the US and help people who've been hit by the pandemic. How about this? We love Hawaii. We haven't been to Maui since our honeymoon in 2003. Let's go to Hawaii. The kids will be happy. I can interview guests. I can continue to work remotely. And my wife and the kids can have a much needed vacation, which they haven't had in gosh knows how long. My whole life is a vacation because I love what I do every second I do it. But seeing my family happy and being with them and getting to do stuff with them is a joy. So we planned it out. We researched everything. What is Hawaii's rules for arriving? Okay, you can show up with nothing and you have to quarantine for 10 days. Well, our trip is 7 days. So that would be the whole trip, and you wouldn't be able to go home because you'd still be in quarantine. Okay, that's not going to happen. Okay, how about this? Trying to go to Maui. The second thing you can do is get a test from a Hawaiian Airlines approved partner, which means it has to be one of a list of things they give. And it's like something at SFO Airport. There's like Walgreens. And then there are these online options through Costco and Vault Health. So Vault Health is a company that it's a saliva test, it's PCR. You spit in the thing, they watch you do it on Zoom, you send it to them UPS overnight. That's their process. They run it and they expedite it for Hawaii, and they're partners with Hawaiian Airlines. So we know it's all approved and it's cheaper than the in-person. So the in-person is $250 a person. And we have 4 of us. So that'd be $1,000 just to get the COVID testing, which, by the way, doesn't cost $1,000 normally. Just to get the COVID testing so you can get on a plane and not be quarantined for 10 days when you land. So instead, Vault Health will do it for $120 per person. And we said, oh, what a bargain. $500 to prove that we don't have COVID, even though both of us are vaccinated. and the two kids have not seen us. So, I mean, they go to this ninja camp thing, but they've been out of that for weeks. They don't see anybody. Like, chances are very low that anybody's COVID positive, but you know what? You have to do it. Okay, great. So we signed up for that, and the idea is our flight is Saturday. It's tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. You can only have a test no earlier than 72 hours prior to your last leg of your departure. Okay, so that would make Wednesday morning is when the earliest we could do it. So we get the kids, we pull them off their Zoom. My wife's working from home. We get there, we call up Vault Health. They pull up a person on Zoom. They watch you spit in the thing. You wrap it up. You put it in the package. You put stat on it. You send it. I drove it over to the UPS store. We already prepaid for it all. It's not cancelable, right? And it's supposed to be overnighted to Piscataway, New Jersey, where they run it and they turn it around within 24 hours of getting it, which should have been just enough time for the flight. In fact, that's the fastest you can do it. And so we did all that and we researched all the other options. We said, okay, this is it. And then we're going to go there. We're going to stay in this condo that's part of the Hyatt. We're going to spend money on the local Hawaiian economy, people who desperately need it. I mean, we go to Hawaii a lot previously. We haven't been to Maui in forever. And we're like, this is going to be our chance to actually do some good economically for people while relaxing, enjoying ourselves, and I can get work done. I mean, it was a great idea, right? After being cooped up in this communist state with Governor Newsom, who tells us don't eat at a restaurant and then goes with his lobbyists to the French Laundry and has a nice maskless dinner. Freaking hypocrite, right? And that's how people feel. We see our leaders doing this crap and we're stuck at home. So we plan out, we take all the steps, we cross all the letters, we do everything. We send it off. Yesterday, we checked the tracking to see, okay, well, it should have arrived, we should be getting our results. And the tracking says, stuck in Kentucky. The overnight that was supposed to get there yesterday, Thursday, it's stuck in Kentucky by UPS because there's some kind of storm or something going on, right? So now we're starting to panic. Well, wait a minute now. If it doesn't get there, we're in trouble because we're not going to be able to go. So we start looking, are there any options locally that we can do it? Nope, they're all booked, or you spend like $300. And even then, there's no guarantee it'll be done. Okay, well, let's wait and see what happens. Today we check again. It's just leaving for like Newark as of when I started recording this just now. So today's Friday. They have to get the test, process it, turn it around, get us a result. I have to upload it to Hawaii's safe travel website, all before I board a plane at 8 a.m. tomorrow, which means we have to leave for the airport at 5. So is this going to happen? Probably not, right? Which means all our planning is flushed away. It means that we've wasted $500 on Vault Health, which, by the way, so Vault was great when you're signing up. They answer your emails. The Zoom person was fantastic. The service is very convenient. It was like 23andMe. It's very easy to use. Then the minute there's trouble, we've been emailing them, we've been calling them, leaving voicemails. You get nothing back at all. Probably because there's about 1,000 people going through the same thing through the delays, right? I get it. But no communication at all. So we have no clarity, no idea whether we haven't packed because we're like, well, I don't know if we're going to go. Now, this sounds like first world problems, right? Oh, poor Z-Dog can't go on a Hawaii trip with his spoiled family. And, this is the 1%. Yeah. What about the people in Hawaii who we called today, the hotel people there, and we were like, we're really sorry, we're going to have to cancel because you have a 24-hour cancellation refund policy. And she said, oh, we're so sorry. Listen, just call us the day of and we'll refund you if you can't come. We really need you to come. We need you to come. This is their livelihood. And the state of Hawaii's policy is this. If you arrive before your test comes back negative, you have to quarantine for 10 days. If your test comes back negative after you arrive, the appropriately done test with the partner, you still have to quarantine for 10 days. Does this make any sense to you? Is this a scientific policy that will protect Hawaiians from imported COVID? No. Is it a policy that makes any sense logistically? Are people going to want to come to the islands when that's what you tell them? No. Is it going to hurt local Hawaiian businesses like it's going to hurt them tomorrow when we can't come? Yes. But who benefits? Opportunistic companies that spring up like Vault that are actually providing a service that I get it. It's capitalism. That's wonderful. But they're going to get my money whether they process this thing or not. Is it their fault? Well, not really. It's the weather's fault because UPS couldn't deliver. But should they at least tell people, well, we'll refund your money if we can't process a specimen with any reasonable insight into you getting on your trip? Probably. I'm just hoping they get it. They get it today and they process it rapidly and all the other people that are waiting for it, right? And we get to go and patronize businesses in a beautiful part of the country that's been suffering. This is what's lost in our policy is common effing sense. I'm trying my hardest not to curse because I want you guys to share this video. It's common sense. The entire population is suffering. They're tired of it. Now we have a vaccine. People are scared to get it because communication's been bad. And because they tell you, get the vaccine, but you still can't do anything. You still have to mask, don't travel, don't do any of this stuff. Hide in your basement, cowering in fear from a disease that if you're 24 and younger, you're 36 times more likely to die in a car accident than to die of COVID. So stay hiding in your house. Oh, and by the way, California had closed outdoor dining for most of the last few weeks. How does that make sense? Put our businesses out of business for a tiny risk of outdoor transmission? I have to wear a mask riding a mountain bike on a trail. Tell me how scientific is that? Show me the evidence that that helps. And then we want to go with a family, spend some money in the economy. We've done everything. We're dual vaccinated, young children that aren't going to transmit, that wear masks. We're super fastidious. We did everything right. Can't go because of a stupid policy with a twist of bad weather in Kentucky, I think. It's crazy. I mean, if any of the Vault Health guys are watching this, you guys need better communication. You need to be able to tell people, look, these are the things that can happen. And you have to understand that that's going to happen. It's possible. We'll do our best to help you. We'll be open and communicative. If you do that, I think the service is great. I think it's wonderful that they offer it at a reasonable price and that you can do it from the convenience of your home and that it's PCR, it's accurate, and Hawaii accepts it. That is competition. That's lovely. What these on-site airport people are doing is straight price gouging. I tried to sign up for Dignity Health has a thing. Well, they'll do same-day testing. It was ridiculously expensive, and you couldn't get an appointment. It's like, well, what's even the point? You know, it's like these big legacy players trying to get in this game. This is insane, you guys. Can we just have a rational approach to this? It's crazy. And who's hurt? The little guy. Not me. I'm not hurt. Look, if I can't go to Hawaii, who cares? Right? By the way, my two daughters, they woke up this morning all nervous because they were ready to pack. They've been excited about this thing for weeks. We told them, look, there's a good chance it's not going to happen because you just never know. Try to tamp expectations. When we told them that we probably weren't going to be able to go, they both burst into tears and immediately got on their Zoom classroom calls. Because basically, they're still in school. I mean, it sucks, right? It sucks to see your kids unhappy like that when their hopes had been raised and we were all excited to spend family time. I mean, my youngest is like, I can't wait to go hiking with you, Daddy. I can't wait to go snorkeling with you, Daddy. It's about us, right? But see, our thing is not the thing. The thing is the businesses that we would have patronized, the restaurants, the local businesses that are suffering in Hawaii suffer for no reason. Does this make any sense to anyone that this is how it's set up? And then the public health people say, yeah, get your vaccine, but you get no benefit of it beyond doing the right thing. There's no loosening of restrictions for you, even mutually consenting restrictions. Like your parents are vaccinated, you're vaccinated, you better still wear a mask. Don't see them. Stay home. Okay, are you insane? Have we lost our minds? Is this how you're going to develop the trust of the public when you say stuff like that? Really? And that's how you get rewarded on Twitter, saying stupid-ish like that. Everyone retweets your stuff. Yeah, stay home. And what are they doing? What are the same doctors who are telling you this garbage? What are they doing? They're seeing all their loved ones. They're seeing all their friends. They got the vaccine first and they're out doing whatever because they know science. They're like, yeah, this is probably fine. They're saying another thing to your face because we don't want the public to misunderstand. We better tell them this so they'll do this. That is the most disingenuous, garbage way of being in the world, and you should be ashamed of yourself. There are so many doctors out there that are the biggest hypocrites in the world. And then there's lots who are like, you know what, I'm with you, Z. Like, this is crazy. What we're doing is unscientific. What we're doing is absolutely unscientific. Hey, look, am I a little upset, emotional? Yeah. I think I have a right to be. I think you have a right to be. They'll tell you don't be. Okay, comments. Because now I'm just too pissed. Now, oh, by the way, everyone's going to give me 13 different things that I could have done to get on that flight. And I'm telling you, we've looked at all of them. You can't just do a random test. You can't show up in the ER complaining of COVID symptoms and get a test. Hawaiian Airlines and the Hawaiian public health people don't accept those tests. So that's not even on the table, like cheating your way into getting the test or going somewhere else and getting a rapid test that's available, a 15-minute turnaround test. I had the CMO of Cepheid on my show. They make the rapid PCR test that tests for flu, RSV, and COVID. I could go to their headquarters and get the test. It's not going to be accepted by Hawaiian. So that's not an option. And why should you have to do that? It ought to be simple. It ought to be that if you can't get it in time, you land, you quarantine until the test comes back. If it's positive, it's probably a false positive, but it's a positive, then you deal with that. Then you ought to be quarantined. That's fair. But no, you can't do that. It's insane, you guys. Like, this is not... Angie Overlet, California is a communist state. Our governor should be impeached. I can't wait to get out of California. It is the worst. I moved back here. Can you believe that? California is, and people are leaving because it's not friendly to businesses. Look, the public schools are shut down. What's going on? The people in the private schools, the haves, have more and more and more. And the haves are the most vocally liberal. They're the ones who are like, well, the poor. They don't know anything about the poor people. They're part of the Zoomocracy. They can sit back here like I'm doing right now and make a living talking on Zoom, whereas the essential workers who have to go into work every day, they're the ones who are punished, and they're the ones more likely to get coronavirus and die of it because they're more likely to be obese, have diabetes, have diseases of low socioeconomic status because your zip code is more influential on your health than your genetic code, and health equals wealth and vice versa by the transitive property of whatever that is. And as a result, by destroying our economy, by hurting the poorest, by spreading out this wealth divide and increasing inequality, what we're doing is damaging the health of generations ahead of us. The educational health, which means the wealth of people who are now going to be thrust into poverty, further cycle of poverty, because of our actions to protect against a disease that is, yes, it's deadly. Yes, it can cause long-haul COVID. Yes, all that can be true simultaneously with understanding what your risk of it is, which is probably quite low. We have done this. We've lowered the veil of fear on everybody. We have wrecked the economy and our social fabric. We've had some good things happen, like now we can do Zoom. Now we can do telehealth. Some kids are doing better outside of school because they were bullied, because school is a scheisse pot of social... I hated school. But the thing is, all of this can be true, and yet we don't look at it holistically. We look at it through a tribal identifier badge of what's our politics. If we're on the left, stay home, wear a mask, tisk, tisk, tisk. If we're on the right, this thing's a hoax. It's all a scam. Don't wear a mask. Trump. Who from the radical center, both these people look insane. They look insane to me. Like we've lost our mind. And how does it manifest in the world? With public policy that makes no sense, like get a test 72 hours prior to boarding the plane, and if you land without the negative, you're going to quarantine for 10 days. And if you land and the negative comes back after you land, you're going to quarantine for 10 days. Insane. How many people are pissed off? Come on, leave it in the comments. I see it. I mean, Michelle says, I'm pissed for you. Don't be pissed for me. Be pissed for you. Like I said, look, we don't go to Hawaii. We'll be at home. We'll figure something out. It's not like I'm going to go somewhere else in California, this shit state. I'm not going to give a penny to the tax base of California if I don't have to. Because they've shown me as a governing body that they don't care about their own people. They don't care about their poor, right? They don't care at all. This state has been mismanaged into oblivion. And it's heartbreaking because it's the most beautiful, I will go on record, it's the most beautiful state in the union. It's a country in itself. The people are wonderful and diverse. I mean, everything from the coast to the Central Valley to Yosemite to the north to San Diego, LA, our industry, our people. It's superb, and it's been squeezed into crap by years of mismanagement. Honestly, just break it up into multiple states. It would be managed better and more appropriately to the local need. Come to Texas, Cynthia Torres. I love Texas. Hate the weather. Can't do it. Love Texas, though. I love you, Z-Dog, but this one, you sound like my whining wife, Hari Ramachandran. I will take that criticism because it's me just being me, and sometimes I have to just get this off my chest in front of however many thousand people. Because listen, I'm not alone. I think we're all kind of going through this. Let me go over to YouTube here and see what's up. Beth Dennis says lots of beaches in Oahu were closed for their own citizens, like the beach is dangerous. Listen, Hawaii is its own communist state. Do you think the actual people of Hawaii wanted their beaches closed? If you actually listen to the people, they would boot everybody out of office that did that to them. I mean, it's crazy. But Hawaii has a much deeper sense of community and obligation to community than, let's say, Nevada. So Nevada, it's like each person for himself. I know because I lived there for 8 years. California is more like, I don't know, I want to look like I care about community, but really I just care about myself. And in Hawaii, I think they actually deeply care. I mean, there's this true aloha spirit. The people who we called for the hotel, they were so lovely and so accommodating. And there was an undercurrent of desperation that they were hoping we could come. They were going to do anything and bend over backwards to let it happen. And I really don't want to cancel that. So we have till tomorrow morning to cancel everything, and still be out the $500 for the useless testing with Vault Health. Lizette Paris, who's a supporter on YouTube. Hey, whatever's happening that's upsetting you can be fixed with some bourbon and karaoke. You know what? That's going to be supporter rounds after this. So if you're a supporter of the show, if you pay the $5 a month or whatever so that we don't have to throw ads and we don't have to get sponsors and all that garbage like we're in your pocket on YouTube, Locals, and Facebook. We do these live shows where I'm off the rails like this all the time, and we often will do karaoke where I put in a little earpiece. You guys shout out requests, and I badly sing them, and you badly sing along. And for some reason, that's the most fun we have in a long time. Jeffrey Walker, let's make all of us in the South sound ignorant. We're not. And there are amongst, absolutely, I don't know what that means. Not everyone in California is completely screwed up. Not everyone here talks like that. Come on, man. Come on, Jeffrey. I'm just basically exaggerating for the point. I'm talking about extremes, and it's not necessarily the South. But that's a stereotype extreme, just like the lefty communist extreme of California. Like you said, not everybody's like that, right? Most people are rational. Actually, most people are rational when you talk to them in person. You get them on social media, they act like total 2-bit clowns. And that's a fact. So where I sit, where I interact with everybody, all I see is incoming, when I actually interact with people one-on-one, is rational people trying to be good that have different moral palettes, different moral beliefs, and they come from different angles. And I love all of them, right? But I'll tell you, when you see it caricaturized in the real world, meaning in social media, not in the real world, when you see the left and the right caricaturized by their tweets and their posts and their garbage, it's a joke. It's absolutely a joke. All right. So that's the main thing I wanted to say. Thanks to everyone who donated stars on Facebook. That helps support our show. I will keep you guys posted with a post as to what really ends up happening. Actually, I got a couple texts. Let's see if any of that's my wife. Nope. It's Logan making a thumbnail for this show. So that's the next closest thing. Logan is my work wife. All right, guys. I want you to, in the comments, tell me your stories about traveling during COVID. Have you had problems? How's your mental health holding up? Tell me all those things. Leave a comment. Share the show. That's really it. And this made me feel better. I feel catharsized, if that's a verb. So thank you for being with me during this. The bottom line is, coming back to the main message of what I'm trying to convey in the show long term, is none of this really matters, because vacation, no vacation, you can find peace, serenity, happiness, bliss in the now moment with people that you love, or even alone. Because some of our greatest struggles in life come from our inability to be in the present moment alone. So take all this chaos and emotion, bring it back to the present moment, chill the F out, and that's your moment of Zen. All right, guys, love you all so much, and we are out.